Boom shakalaka!
Oh, I thought I unplugged. Oh, okay. Is that better? That's probably better. Okay, well, I guess these first few minutes no one can hear me. I thought I fixed that. Okay. Hopefully you hear me now. So anyway, yeah, check out these articles. I won't bother with you much of that. I won't want to repeat myself. But thank you for the heads up there, Mr. Hinky, as well. But yeah, let's get into the news, shall we? Svi Mikhailuk lighting up the scoreboard last night for the Los Angeles Lakers, the South Bay Lakers, rather, the rookie. Let's take a look at that. Shout out to Eric Rothman and AC Green on the call, too.
Mikhailuk, step back for three is good.
47 points, 16 of 23 from the field, 5 of 9 from three-point. Incredible performance from him, needless to say. It's all on Twitter. LeBron James giving him props as well. Kind of a birthday present for LeBron, I guess you could say. Getting it in there. Look at that. Such an efficient game from him, too. It kind of shows you just the potential upside of these guys you don't get to see when they're not getting minutes on the NBA bench. And you can see it here, just what he's able to do. And a nice pass there to Travis Ware. But again, it showcases the value. You know, he's getting minutes in the G League, showcase what he can do. It might otherwise not come about without this league. So you get to see performances like these. You get to see the potential of these guys and why they were drafted. Gives you another reason to root for them too. So I think, and you get to see those things. So excuse me, for me, that's the value I see of the G League. You get these kind of performances from guys and get to show their true value, so to speak. What I would say is, as we're looking at more of these highlights, step back three right here from Mikhailuk. Look at that, it's so pretty. What's funny about this, though, is if you go back last night, a few hours before, RJ Hunter had a career high 46 points for the Erie Bayhawks, which would have been the all-time, the season high for any player. And Mikhailuk said, no, I'm not going to let that happen. Hold my preferred beverage. And I'm going to take over. So 47 points. Look at that side pass there from Travis Ware. Beautiful look. In the lane, too, no less. Steps into it. Look at that. It's pretty. I want to roll that back. Can we roll that one back right there? It just steps. Here's the lob. Nice lob there. Getting there. Elevating for the champ, Svi Mikhailuk. Creating for himself. A little bit of everything. Like I said, able to finish at the rim. Got the three-point shot. Doing just a little bit of everything here. There's Ware. There's Mikhailuk getting it down. And put it back up. Right there. Euro step for Mikhailuk. Again, 47 points on 16 of 23. 5 of 9 from three-point. Probably the best performance in the league so far it is. I mean, no one scored that many points so far. So needless to say, kudos to him. Kudos to the one and only. Why do you think OKC waived Tyler Davis? Makes no sense to me. Yeah, I'm not sure unless he had another offer somewhere else overseas. I do know that he did play, I believe he played 15 games or so with OKC, so they do have his G League rights if they want to maintain him. Maybe they saw a backlog on bigs. They felt like they needed to develop a different player. That's why they signed Dante Grantham to the two-way. It doesn't make sense to me unless I haven't heard he's injured or anything like that. So I don't know. That one kind of was a head-scratcher, but OKC, to their credit, has utilized the G League better than most any other teams. They're one of the first teams to sort of draft and stash domestically with Josh Eustace, a little bit of that with Dakari Johnson. So they know the ins and outs of the G League and have leveraged it tremendously. But why they waived him, I'm not sure. But hey, he's a free agent, and 10-day contracts coming up here pretty soon, which we'll get into as well. That is a bit of a head-scratcher, but given the track record of OKC, I'd like to think they know what they're doing, especially in the G League. So I can't really question it per se, but I do. It is a head-scratcher, to say the least. He's putting up great numbers. We can pull those numbers up, in fact, right now, just for the heck of it, while we're talking G League basketball. That's the beautiful beauty, excuse me, I need to slow down, of this show. We can look up things on the fly as we go. You have the questions. I should have the answers. So let's take a look here. Tyler Davis, 17 points, 11 rebounds. Played in 15 games, only in 26 minutes. He's putting up these kind of numbers. That's pretty impressive. 57% from field goal. 76% from the free throw line. Let's look at his advanced stats here, shall we? We don't do box score. Let's do splits, I believe. And let's do advanced. That's what we want, right? Trying to still navigate the new stats page. It's kind of a challenge. 11.6 net rating. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. He's had quite the impact. Only 21. He's from, I think, Texas A&M, if memory serves me right off the top of my head. So you kind of see there some of his numbers. Yeah, it is a bit of a hit. I mean, these are great numbers for a prospect. But obviously they want to go in a different direction. Sometimes we don't know the whole story. Obviously we don't. Otherwise we wouldn't ask these kind of questions. So maybe there's more to it. Maybe they saw more upside in Dante Grantham. We can pull up Grantham's numbers as well. And kind of check and compare and contrast here. So 17-11 for Tyler Davis on 57% from the field. Let's take a look at Dante Grantham, just for the heck of it. This is why I love the live show. I can answer these questions on the fly and talk with you through them. 10 points, 5.3 rebounds, 39% from 3. So he's obviously fills a need there that Tyler Davis doesn't. That could be the immediate answer. 38%, obviously not as great as 57%, but a different type of player, right? Davis is 7-footer, hanging around the bucket. Dante Grantham listed as a forward, more of a guard. If you're shooting this frequently at the 3-point level, 39%, more of a stretch, I guess. Stretch is the it term nowadays. Everything's a stretch Armstrong, you could say. So 5.3 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 26 minutes. So you can see there's efficiency there. Just 26 minutes, he's shooting this kind of clip. So that's something maybe they saw that he feels a need that Davis doesn't, right? So that's kind of where you have to gravitate towards. So that's my immediate answer. He feels a need that Davis does not on the two-way on the main roster. And the number that stands out to me is just 3-point shooting, right? And that's just immediately. That's not an in-depth look. That's not going into the finer details. It's not scouting it per se. That's my immediate answer. And I'm assuming it's probably along those lines too. Obviously a net rating here of 4.0. Not as good as the 11.7 I think it was that Davis had. But again, it's all about filling the needs of a team. No player's going to be perfect. But when call-ups happen, 10 days are coming out, which we'll talk about soon. Those sorts of things you got to take into account. What hole does a player fill? Is it rebounding? Is it perimeter defense? Is it 3-point shooting? What are the gaps, and how do you try and fill those with these call-ups, so to speak? So that'll be my best guess. Anyway, Maester Hinkie. So moving on. Talk about dates. I kind of mentioned it. We'll go really through here real quick. January 5th, just next week, in fact, 10-day contracts can be signed. The 10th, all standard NBA contracts are guaranteed for the remainder of the season, so you might see some players waived. I think we talked about that with, you've seen Patrick McCaw's name come up and his restricted deal. Essentially, this is kind of the deadline here, January 10th, as far as keeping him guaranteed for the year or not. Potentially, it's a $220,000 tryout if he is waived by that day. His 2-year deal with the Cavs as a restricted free agent is non-guaranteed. So if the Warriors do match, I don't think they're going to. I don't know that for sure. They'd be on the hook for at least $220,000. But again, it's a cap hit for them because they're over the luxury tax. So that's another questions for those salary cap experts out there. Because I'm a G League guy. I'm not a salary cap guy. So January 15th, last day to sign 2-way contracts. I think the reason they do that is so it doesn't overlap with 10 days. You know, you'd have 2 deals out there kind of vying for one or the other, whether it's 10-day or 2-way. I think they kind of want to simplify it that way, so you're not too many players moving at that point. Because if you waive a 2-way guy, you can't fill that slot. So it's sort of securing that spot, even though they are still non-guaranteed deals, which I want to get into real quick. So January 20th, 2-way contracts are guaranteed for the remainder of the season. This is, I want to advocate for this for a second because this is not 100% accurate. It is and it isn't. So NBA players, obviously, if you're familiar with the G League and you're watching this, you know they're paid by days of service in the NBA on the roster of a maximum 45 days, right? And they can earn about $285,000. I think it's closer to $300,000 this year with the rookie scale increasing. But they earn by days of service on an NBA roster, right? So when you see this only means their G League contract, their G League salary is guaranteed at that point. I think there's a misconception that those deals are guaranteed. I just want to advocate they are not. They are not guaranteed deals. That's why you see a lot of players signed and then waived. You know, there's a lot of movement with 2-way deals, especially the next couple weeks. You might see a bit more as guys try to get locked in. I think if you can't sign a guy, I think they should be guaranteed anyway. The full deal. I know guys need to earn their dates, but I mean, it boggles me when there are players who, I mean, even if they're on the roster for the NBA team, they don't get minutes. It still counts as a day of service, right? So there should be someone in the front office who says, okay, player X has Y amount of days left of service. He would need to join us by this date to get through the full 45. Or even 44, whatever that is. I think there should be someone advocating for that because, again, these 2-way deals don't count against the salary cap, right? So you're not losing any money. And if you haven't used those days by that point, you don't use them, you lose them, right? So I think going back there, I find it hard to believe when guys just can't get days. I'm not saying they need to earn them or they shouldn't, but I think that is another head scratcher. I wonder why teams just don't, I don't want to say just hand them out freely, but you have those days, use them and help those guys get paid. I think in the long term, what we're going to start seeing is maybe players, I'm going on a tangent here, but 2-way contracts are sort of like the even playing field of the NBA, right? They're all the same terms. They're all the same standards. It's a matter of who wants to sign with your club, right? I mean, it's an even playing field. So if you have a good rep of getting guys days of service, and you have a track record of that, you're going to see guys gravitate towards your franchise more than, say, a team who gives a guy, 2 days of service over the course of a season, or 3 days, or 5 days. If you're a team that gets maybe 20 days or 30 days of service, and you show that year after year here, I think you're going to get better. You're going to have first right of refusal for guys to say, hey, here's what we're doing as far as 2-way contracts. Look at these other teams who aren't doing that, and this is what we can do for you. Now, again, it's on a case-by-case basis, obviously, and teams should by no means be guaranteeing dates for whatever reason, and I get that too. But I think at some point you kind of have to. These dates are, like I said, they don't count against the cap. So I think more players should be fulfilling more dates of service, I guess is my point here, because you're not losing anything. Let's get these guys get paid and earn these contracts one way or another. That's my only thing. And I only say it because these are non-guaranteed deals. And I think that at some point they should become fully guaranteed, especially when they're like the low-end contracts with the NBA. They don't count against the cap. You're not hurting anyone. They don't fall into the luxury tax. So let's see what they can do with that. That would be my one of the advocates I would pitch to Shareef Abdur-Rahim once he's president. Try and advocate for more guys to get days of service. And if that is a concern of his as well. Moving on. We've got the NBA G League Showcase came and went. And the All-Winner Showcase team was announced. They had two teams, a first and a second team. We had Tyler Harvey of Memphis. Put up 26 points, 8 assists. These are labeled private. Excuse me, and I'm not sure why. These were videos. I think they were just highlight clips from the showcase. Not sure why they've been labeled private by the league. Anyway, but that's for another time. But I just want to go over this real quick. I did not plan on seeing this when I was trying to produce the show. So, moving on. Jordan Lloyd, 31 points, 5 rebounds. Christian Wood, 34.5, 13.5 boards, and 4.5 blocks in 2 games for the Herd. Christian Wood putting up disgustingly good numbers for a Herd team that just can't seem to find a win or two. And that team is really talented on paper. But as someone famously told me one time, covering the G League, you can have a good team on paper, but does the paper play defense? Does the paper block shots? Does the paper score the hoop? No. You can have anything on paper, but you got to apply it in order to make it work. So, Wisconsin's record should be better than it is at this point. I think they're 3-15 or 3-18. We can even check that out if we want to. I'll let that load in when we come back here. Whoop, jumped the gun there. Isaac Humphries, 25.5 points, 14 rebounds, and 3.5 blocks over 2 games. And I think Humphries, the 7-footer out of Kentucky, I believe, I think he raised his stock the most out of anyone in the G League, right? So he wasn't on the radar, admittedly, or my radar at least, to say the least. He was averaging 8.5 points and 5.5 boards per game coming up to the showcase. So you kind of see here, he's up to 10.3 and 6.4. But you kind of look here at these 2 games. 71.4% against the Texas Legends. 34 points, 15 rebounds. And then again against the Northern Arizona Suns, 17 points, 10 of 16. Maybe not as efficient, obviously. 3 for 6 from 3 for the 7-footer. Absurd numbers. 12 rebounds. So that's why he made the first team. But I think Humphries kind of put his stamp on it, put everyone on notice. But you can have a good game or two, but it's all about consistency. So these numbers need to come up a little bit more, obviously, because he struggled the first part of the season. But hopefully he can. Like I said, he's only 20. Very young. Has time to learn, time to develop in the G League. That's what it's there for. But keep an eye out for Isaac Humphries. His stock is rising. Just needs a little more consistency in his game, to say the least. Whew. All right. Moving on here. We got second team. Jarnell Stokes rounds out the first team. Second team, Kalen Lucas, Walt Lemon. I guess they don't get written notes about them. Alan Williams, Jonathan Motley, CJ Fair. Jonathan Motley has been ridiculous for the Agua Caliente Clippers. Borderline MVP candidate, I should say, from his numbers that he's put up. He's been player of the week twice already this season for the Agua Caliente Clippers. Try and say that 5 times fast if you can. You probably can't. But good on Motley, to say the least. Oh, we were talking about Dante Grantham. Let's look at these standings right now for the G League. Checking in here. Long Island Nets, 14-6, still top. Zanan Musa killing for them. Alan Williams and Theo Pinson. Shout out to Theo Pinson. Put up a triple-double just a few nights ago. And then I think it was last night, scored his first NBA bucket as well. Congratulations to him. You can see they're 7-3 over their last 10. Westchester Knicks sort of struggling. 6-4, 1-1. I think they went 0-2 at the showcase, though. Raptors down to 5, 14-7. Erie Bayhawks coming up 1-4 straight. They were 2-0 at the showcase. 11-8. They're coming up as well. This is just a logjam here, right? So you kind of see, once you get to 11 wins, it's 8 right through here. So it's top 6 teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right here, Lakeland Magic will make the playoffs. You have the Fort Wayne on the outside looking in, Capital City Go-Go, So right here, you got 8 teams or so in the mix, and a lot can change for the rest of these. Wisconsin 3-17 for the Wisconsin Herd, lost 4 in a row. They're 3-14 here in the conference. That's tough. They should be better though. They should be better than what their record states. So hopefully they can get back on track and have a respectable season. Delaware Bluecoats 7-13, another team that should be better than the record states. I like Highwood Haysmith as well. Matt Farrell is killing it for them too. I think I can't wait to see their new facility. I think it opens January 23rd. It was delayed a bit. The 76ers Fieldhouse. That's going to look amazing, by the way. But again, yeah, you see this logjam here. It's just 6 and 8, right through here. Windy City, maybe sneak in here too. But it's really right now an 8-team race. Windy City, though, winners of 5 in a row. They dropped Tyler Eulis with his hip injury. Added Brandon Sampson, the RGV Vipers. That's going to be a plus net gain for them, obviously, with a two-way player that can actually compete and play. Moving over to the West, Oklahoma City Blue, 16-5, tops there. They've won 1. Santa Cruz Warriors, winners of 3 in a row, including back-to-back. The last 2 nights against the Iowa Wolves on the road. Strange scheduling for them, to say the least. So they haven't been at home since December 15th. They go to the Showcase. They go 1-1 split there, and they stay on the road with a back-to-back in Iowa. They come home tonight. I'll be on the broadcast tonight for the Santa Cruz Warriors. Then they're back on the road again for 2 more weeks. So it's kind of an interesting scheduling that's taking place there. And if it were me, I'd rather stay on the road than make the trip back home to only go out on the road again. But again, I don't make the schedule. Or at least if you're going to come home, not just for one game, maybe a few of them, before you hit the road for, I think, 4 more games. There's a bit of a break there. Especially when you were just in Iowa 2 nights prior. So a bit jet lagged, you've got travel, then you're going to hit the road again. It just seems to me a bit inefficient in the schedule making, but what do I know? I don't get paid to make it. I'm sure it's a lot more difficult than it seems to be. So, Stockton Kings, winner of 5 in a row. Troy Williams killing it for them, certainly. RGV Vipers coming to winners of 3. RGV Vipers, that's an interesting team. A ton of rookies on this roster. They are getting it done. They had the 1-point win over the Santa Cruz Warriors just a few weeks ago. But you take a look at this, they're missing Brandon Sampson now. But Bruno Caboclo, he's killing it for him. Daniel House, a great two-way pickup. Gary Payton obviously coming back for them. That's big. But they're definitely going to miss Brandon Sampson. But, I mean, Bruno Caboclo is like a different player this year. And I kind of want to explore why that is. Isaiah Hartenstein, he's a menace in the middle for the Vipers. Had a 23-rebound game against the Warriors just a few weeks ago. And he's had quite the impact for this team too. So it's a young team, but they're a very good team. They're well coached by Joseph Blair and company, taking up over for Matt Brazzi, who got the call up to Houston. They are a team you want to watch. So right now you'd have the Vipers is the last team here coming out here. But if you come out here to Agua Caliente, you got 3 other teams here in the mix. So it's like a 9-team race at the moment. South Bay creeping up. They got 1 win here. Texas sort of sliding, 4-game losing streak. Northern Arizona heading to Santa Cruz tonight. Losers of 9 in a row. That's tough. I kind of feel for them because they didn't have any affiliate players this year for their roster. Just like putting a puzzle together and you're missing one of the biggest pieces on the board. You know, not having any affiliates puts you at a disadvantage out the gate. So, I mean, it's hard to recover from that. I mean, they did pick up Jawan Evans, did sign him to a two-way. He's on there. He's locked in, but one player can only do so much. I like Peter Jock for Northern Arizona. He's a great player to watch as well. But it's tough watching these teams struggle, to say the least. So, but yeah, Salt Lake City's coming up. They've won 3 in a row. They've had some great stints from Jordan Yang and Grayson Allen on assignment as well. Agua Caliente is a team that's 9-9, should be better than their record states. Motley and Delgado are killing it inside for them. I think Motley's been named Player of the Week twice now already this season. Like I said, he's an MVP candidate. I think the only challenge against him as his team record should be better than it is. Like I said, they're a team that's on paper better than what their record is. So that's a team to watch as well. I think, like I said, the only thing counting against Motley is his team's record isn't up there where it should be, up here near where Sioux Falls and Santa Cruz are. Memphis Hustle, they lost one. They lost last night against Stockton, but I think they've won 8 of their last 9 prior to that. So they're on a roll. Talked to Dusty Hannes during the showcase here on the show. Asked him about that as well. Go check that out episode if you can. I think it should be in the archives here on Twitch. But I think that's about to wrap this show up. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat right now. Otherwise, breaking news for NBA, folks. The Nuggets have waived guard Nick Young. So, if you're watching this, that's Shams Charania reporting from The Athletic. Yeah, Nick Young, so long, farewell. He didn't say goodbye to you. Good luck to him. If not, that's it. We're going to wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll have a guest on next week. Tune in next time. We'll answer all your G League questions. And thanks for watching.